Hello guys, welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to address a particular problem that I find out that is going to make our code too much and too complex to understand. Let's look at this where we are letting the player 1 to select and that of player 2 to select. Sorry, the player 1 to select where the character that he or she want to use, whether if it's X or O. This is a good way to make it more entertaining, but it's going to prompt us to write a whole huge code. And when we start doing that of the condition to check if there's a winner, because let's say in the situation player 1 was X, but we're going to check if X is 1 in row, if X1 in colon, if X1 in diagonal. Okay, if there is X is parallel through that, that means player 1 won. And also the situation where player 1 can set to select O. Okay, if player 1 selected O, I'm going to check whether if this player 1 is whether if row 1 is O, row 2 is O, row 3 or column 1 is O, or column 2 is to same to that of diagonal. So you can see that we're going to check two conditions if the player 1 is O and that of player 2 is also O. In our case, this is going to prompt us to write a huge number of codes, and that we do not want. So how can we handle this kind of problem is to explicitly set player 1 to be of a particular character, not of player 2 to be of a particular character. So how do we do that? We're going to comment all this out. So here we're going to set player 1 to be X and player 2 to be O. So we can know we're dealing with X. So if the player 1 were to win in row, now we're checking if it's X. If it's X, then we know that player 1. So I'm not going to check for X and then I'll come back to check for O. The lines of code will become really too much to write. It's going to be really not enjoyable any longer because it's going to take more time to write them. But if we are dealing with that of X, we know that anything concerning X is for that of player 1 and anything concerning O is for that of player 2. So if in a run, if you want to play with your friends, you might decide to change it later on. You can change it to O and change it to X, but I just want it to be like this, so we reduce the amount of code that we're going to write. Like I commented this out, so we're not going to run this particular section of the code any longer. We'll set this into default. Player 1 is automatically X and player 2 is automatically O. So that was the problem. Not a problem, but I think that's one of the things that I want us to look at before we start our writing the condition to check if they are winners. Because if we don't settle this on ground, then when we start writing things, it's going to be really messy and not enjoyable. So I think this should be it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.